Okay, so now that we have this code that can deal a hand from a deck of cards, what would be really interesting is to be able to analyze the hand. So I have here from Wikipedia a list of the different kinds of hands that you could get if you're dealt a hand of cards, assuming that you have 5 cards. So let me just zoom in here a little bit. And I think this is really nicely done. So you could have a hand which has just a high card, okay? So it reports back the highest card in the hand. A hand that has a single pair of cards, a hand that has 2 pairs of cards, a hand that has 3 of a kind, a hand that has a straight, which is a sequential set of cards going from 10 down to 6 in some order, a hand that's a flush. I think I misspoke about the flush earlier. I got it confused with a full house, but a flush is cards all of the same suit. A full house is 3 of a kind and then 2 of a kind, and then 4 of a kind, and then a straight flush, which is really exciting, all of the same suit and all in order. And then finally, one that we're not going to deal with, which is 5 of a kind, assuming that you have jokers in your deck. All right. So we should be able to compute almost all of these. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the full house as something that you have to do for the warm-up. But I think we'll try to look at some of the easier ones right now and see if we can come up with a analysis. I think this straight one actually is interesting, but there's a homework problem that involves working with the straight, finding a straight in the longest subsequence in a set of numbers. So that pattern you could use also for computing a straight. So I think we're going to leave that one alone, but we should work on these other ones. All right. So to start out, why don't we look for in the beginning? Why don't we just look for the highest card? Okay. So that's our goal. We want to find the highest card in the hand. All right, so here's our deck of cards. And the highest card we'll return the entire card. We'll do an analysis then. So we're going to say system.out.println, and we'll say the highest card in the hand is, and then we'll say display card get highest card, and we'll say hand, and we'll pass in hand. So this is cool. We're going to have a method that we're going to write right now called get highest card, and the goal of get highest card is to return the card in the hand that has the highest rank. All right. So we'll say, like, let's make it more clear. Get highest ranking card from the hand. Highest ranking card in the hand is, okay? I'm not exactly sure how to do this. So let's do public static int get highest ranking card, and we'll pass in the hand, and we are going to return the highest ranking card. So one way to do this, I guess one way to do this is just to compare the card at any particular position to the other card. So let's just write an if statement here. So like if hand sub I, so hand sub 1 is, if get rank hand sub 1 is greater than get rank hand sub 0 is greater than get rank hand sub 1. I'm getting my parens and square brackets messed up here. Hand sub 1. Okay, that needs to be true. And get rank hand sub 0 has got to be bigger than hand sub 2. And get rank hand sub 0 basically has to be bigger than all the cards in the deck. And there's 4 of them. 5 of them, sorry. Okay. So if hand sub 0 is bigger than all the other hands, then what we're going to do is return hand sub 0. That's the biggest, right? Else, we're going to repeat this for hand sub 1, 2, 3. So we'll do this. It's a lot of repetitive code here, which I'm not excited about, but maybe we'll see a pattern. I don't know. I don't really like this. I see writing lots of code here, and I don't like it when there's a lot of repetitive code, particularly when we're tied to an array. This is kind of a good first step. So, but really, have we worked on anything like this before? We have an array, and we just want to find out what the maximum value is in the array. That's really what this problem is about. So maybe instead of doing this, we could write a for loop. Okay, that runs through the array. And what we're looking for is the max value, all right? And we did a problem like this just a lecture or two ago where we were looking for a max value. So I think we could do this. We could say int max equals, or we can say highest ranking card equals hand sub 0, right? And this strategy of setting the max value to the first thing in an array is a really good strategy. You don't want to set it to something arbitrary like 0 or -1 or 52 or 500 million or whatever. You want to set it to, when you're looking for a max, to something that's actually in the collection you're searching for the max. And in this case, we'll just set it for to be hand sub 0. We don't know if it is hand sub 0, but it might be. And we'll let the code in this for loop figure things out. So if highest ranking card, oh, we have to do get rank here. All right, so if get rank, oh no, that is the get rank. So, oh, but we need to remember the card. Okay, fine. So we're gonna set highest ranking card to be hand, and then we're gonna say if get rank of highest ranking card is greater than, oh, sorry, is less than, or get rank of hand sub I. So basically, we're going to iterate through the hand, and if we discover that the rank of the current hand is bigger than the rank of the highest ranking card, we're going to reset the value of the highest ranking card. We're going to set that equal to hand sub I. So this is how we deal with rank. This is how we deal with the maximum. Now, we've done something very similar to this on homework problems when you're looking for we're trying to remember the maximum size of a run of heads in a list of coins that are being flipped, a set of coins that are coin values, heads or tails, sorry, the sequence of heads or tails. So you're looking for the maximum sequence of heads. We have a pattern that's very similar to this. All right, so highest ranking card is represents the max. We reset the max if the highest ranking card's rank is less than the rank of the current hand. All right, and so when we're done, we're going to return highest ranking card. Cool, I'm excited. Let's see if this works. So it's all set up here in the main program. So let's compile and run it, and let's see what happens. So is that correct? Here's our hand right here. 4 of clubs, queen of diamonds, jack of diamonds, ace of hearts, jack of spades. And it says the highest ranking card in the hand is ace of hearts. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So we've taken care of the high card. So the next problem we want to attack is one pair. Okay. So what we're interested in here is figuring out, do we have a single pair? Let's try that as our first problem, and we can make it more complex later. But so the question we want to ask is, do we have a pair? And that'll be either true or false. So is one pair? And we'll pass in the hand. So it'll return true if it finds a single pair in the deck of cards. All right, so we have to figure out that as well. That's actually kind of cool. Like, we're doing this card analysis. So public, static. So what do we return for a return type? We want to return true if we find a pair and false if we don't. So if we want to return true if we find a pair and false if we don't, there's my hand. I'm just going to get this set up and we'll write the code. So this return type is going to be a Boolean. All right. So if we have a pair, what it means is we have 2 cards that have the same rank. That's what it means. We have 2 cards that have the same rank. All right. So how do we figure out if we have 2 cards that have the same rank? Well, maybe we could go back to doing that strategy of comparing things. So let's try that if again. We had this if statement, right, where we said if hand sub 0, and we have to do get rank of hand sub 0 is equal to get rank of hand sub 1. All right, and get rank hand sub 0 is equal to get rank hand sub 2. So if that's true, if get rank hand sub 0 is equal to get rank hand sub 1, and get rank hand sub 0 is equal to get rank hand sub, oh, I'm sorry, or So let's set that up. Okay, that's better. So if getRank handsome 0 is equal to getRank handsome 1, then we have a pair. Handsome 0 and handsome 1 have the same rank, so we have a pair. Or if getRank handsome 0 is equal to getRank handsome 2, we also have a pair. Or if getRank handsome 0 is equal to handsome 3, or okay. So those are the possibilities for a pair. All right, so I hope this makes sense. We're basically checking to see, hey, for handsome 0, is it equal to handsome 1, 2, 3, or 4? Because if it is, then we've got a pair. Now, unfortunately, this only works for handsome 0. When we go to handsome 1, we want to check handsome 1 against 0, 2, 3, or 4. And we've got to repeat that. So we're going to have an incredibly long set of if statements if we do this. So again, it's not really attractive, and there is a pattern here. So like for handsome 0, I could write a for loop that goes through handsome 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's just try that instead. Okay, so this will work, and we would just return true if we did this, but let's see if we can change this to a for loop. Okay, so for int I equals 0, I is less than hand dot length I plus plus. And then I'm going to say, oh, we're going to start at 1 because we're comparing handsome 0. So if getRank hand sub 0 is equal to getRank hand sub I, if that's true, then we're going to return true. In fact, I can simplify that a little bit and just say, oh, no, if. Yeah, we have to do that, return true. And we'll put this in curly brackets. Okay, so we'll return true. Okay, so that's wonderful, but this takes care it only takes care of the first hand sub 0. So we'd like it to be a little more robust. So what I could do is have it go through all the hands here. So for int, oh, we could call it test card. I don't know. I guess I'll call it I here equals 0. I is less than hand dot length I plus plus. And then I'll make this inner one J. That's our inner loop. Okay. All right. So the outer for loop is going to pick a card that we're going to test against all other cards. And the inner loop is going to test all other cards. So let's, I'll show you how this is going to work. So we'll just do it this way, all right? So the outer loop, the I is going to choose a card that we're going to pair against all other cards. Try to pair it, okay? So we pick our card here. You know, I is going to go through from 0 to hand length. So in the inner for loop, that I is going to remain fixed, and then we're going to compare it against all other cards. And that'll let us check all possible pairings. The only issue is we don't want to compare get rank of hand sub I when I is the same value as J. If we do that, we're going to find a pair because we're comparing a card against itself. So we're just going to add one little caveat here to our if statement, and I is not equal to J. All right, if I doesn't equal to J, then we'll get fair pairings. All right, if we get through all of this and nothing happens, we don't get a return true, we're going to return false. We didn't find a pairing. So this attempts to find a pairing. If we get one, we're going to return true, otherwise we'll return false. All right. Let's compile and run this. Well, look at this. 6 of clubs, ace of hearts, king of clubs, 7 of spades, 6 of diamonds. Highest ranking card in hand is ace of hearts. Well, that's correct. And one pair returns true. That's not good, because that means that it found a pairing, even though I don't see, oh no, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have a 6 of diamonds and a 6 of clubs. So yeah, there is a pair there. Fantastic. Let's run this again. It says it found another pairing. Let's see, 7 of spades, 8 of hearts, 4 of spades, 3 of diamonds, 8 of diamonds. Highest ranking card is 8 of hearts. Did we find a pair true? In this case, we do not. Oh no, we have 2. We have an 8 of hearts and an 8 of diamonds. Awesome. Okay. I have to be careful about being skeptical. Yeah, we have 3 of hearts and 3 of diamonds. Boy, we keep getting pairs. Let's see if we can do one where we don't have a pair. Wow. There we go. Finally. We have a no pairing here in this set. 6, 4, 2, 5, Jack. The highest ranking card is Jack of Hearts. Fantastic. All right. So we have code that works for a pairing. So let's go back to our list of poker hands. That was one pair. Now how about 2 pairs? Do we have 2 pairs? So can we modify this code a little bit and improve on it again so that we can figure out if we have 2 pairs? Because that would be the next possibility. All right, well, this is going to count 1 pair, so maybe we should have a pairing count. Okay, so this is going to return true the first time we find a pairing, but now we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to make sure that okay, so let's say we find a first pair, okay? Oh yeah, we gotta have is 2 pair, not is 1 pair. So let's say we find a first pairing. What does the challenge we're gonna have is with the way these for loops are set up, it's gonna be possible to have double count pairings, all right? And the way that's gonna happen is let's say that we have, let's do an example, and then you'll see what we have to avoid. Okay, so I'll keep that. We'll get rid of that for right now. We'll just do an example. In fact, maybe I'll just put it above here. Okay. All right, so let's say that hand sub 0 is equal to 2 of hearts. And hand sub 1 is equal to 2 of clubs. And hand sub 2 is equal to ace of hearts. And hand sub 3 is equal to jack of spades. And hand sub 4 is equal to king of spades. Okay? So that's what we have. Now, what we want is is 2-pair to return false. All right, but here's what's going to happen. Well, right now it's going to return true. All right, so we don't want it to do that. So instead, what we want to do is we want to count maybe we want to count the number of pairings that we have somehow. So if we get into this situation, maybe we want to just count. We'll call it pair count. All right. We'll add 1 to pair count. That's cool. So let's try that. So, and then right down here, we're going to write return pair count equals 2. So if the pair count is equal to 2, it means that we have more than 1 pair. All right, and let's just see what would you expect for a pair count given that we have a 2 of hearts and a 2 of clubs. You might expect that the pair count is 2, but it actually, or you might expect the pair count is 1, but it's actually going to be 2. And the reason why is we're going to double count. You know, if I is 0, we're going to find that the get rank of 0 and the get rank of the j here, which is going to be 1, that will be true, and I won't be equal to j, so we'll add 1 to pair count. But then I is going to get incremented from 0 to 1, and then we're going to say get rank of hand of 1 is equal to get rank of hand of 0. So we're going to count pair count again. So we actually double count our pairs. So to counteract that, what we can do is we can say if pair count is equal to 4, then we've got 2 pair. And that's because the way this loop is set up, we're going to double count pairs. All right? So I hope that makes sense. All right, and in this case, since pair count will be equal to 2, we'll have double counted this pair, but this pair only. Pair count will be 2. When we do this return pair count equal 4, we'll return false. Let's consider another hand though. So here we'll have 2 of hearts and we'll have, let's say we have king of hearts and king of spades. So the first time the for loop runs, the outer for loop will have I with an index of 0, and it'll compare hand sub 0 and hand sub 1 and increment pair count. All right. When I moves to 1, it'll compare hand of 1 to hand of 0 and increment pair count again. Now pair count is 2. when I gets to 2, it'll increment pair count when I is 2 and J is 4. So now pair count is 3. And then when I is 4, it'll increment pair count because I is 4, and when J is 2, we'll increment pair count. So we'll end up with a pair count of 4. We'll return 4, and that will we'll return is pair count equal to 4. That will be true. Okay, cool. So let's do 2 pair. Test it out here. All right. I think it's a little harder to get to. Ooh, we do have 2 pair. Let's check it out. Yeah, look at this. 8 of clubs, 8 of spades, Jack of hearts, and Jack of clubs. So 1 pair returns true because it returns true if it finds just a single pair. Not just a single pair, but it finds any pair. And 2 pair returns true. All right, so maybe what we should do is make 1 pair a little smarter and say that if it returns, if we find a pair here, we're going to return not 2 pair. All right, so instead of return true here. So if we find a pair and we don't find 2 pair, then we're in good shape with 1 pair. So we've set 1 pair up now so that it will only return true if it finds a single pair. So we've improved it. That's kind of cool. Whoops. Let's fix that. Oh, it is 2 pair. So I hope that makes sense. I'll just repeat what I did here. So return true. So this was going to return to the first time it found a pair. But if there's 2 pair, we really want 1 pair to return false. So we're going to say if it's not 2 pair and we did find a pair, then 1 pair is going to be true. Oops, I did the same thing. Is 2 pair. Okay. There we go. I got nothing on that one. Okay, we got 1 pair on that one. Let's run this a little bit and see if we can get a 2 pair. Okay. Oh, here we go. So this one we had a 6 of clubs, a 6 of hearts, a 4 of spades, and a 4 of hearts. So we have 1 pair is false and 2 pairs true. Fantastic.